Well, why make a controversy out of what? Out of nothing? Why is this a controversy? A, B, what? I think they're just making too big a deal of this quote unquote representation. Oh lord. Hello everyone. I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. Marvel's Kevin Feige responds to quote unquote gay controversy in Avengers Endgame. All right. I am LGBT, the B, right, of LGBT. I don't. I keep saying this time and time again. I don't care about representation. Just give me a good story. Keep stuff age appropriate for movies that like are supposed to appeal to pretty much everybody. The Marvel movies pretty much are for everybody, and I would say like 8 to 80 is probably a good age range for those. You could even watch them a little younger depending. You might not get some of the stuff, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. The more we make a big deal out of making everybody separate and different, the more we're dividing each other, right? Yeah, out comes the tie-dye. Here comes the mecha hippie sometimes. Oh yes. The mecha hippie comes out of the woodwork sometimes. I all this representation and putting people in boxes and all this stuff. This is an IGN article, by the way, talking about Kevin Feige on his press tour for Spider-Man Far From Home. We get the same story every time there's a new Marvel movie, pretty much. Especially since Endgame, since the characters they're referring to are in Endgame. This is an IGN article here. Now, what? The problem with, in my opinion, when we just keep separating, is that we make people only who they fall in love with, really, or who they prefer, right? You kind of reduce people to just what's in between their legs, and instead of what's in their heart, what's in their character. This is one of my biggest problems with the quote unquote representation culture and this whole I'm offended because you don't represent some group I'm not a part of. We kind of need to evolve a little bit beyond this. It really feels to me very juvenile to do this. It feels very childish to focus on just the stupidest things when it comes to people and characters and stories. If they don't draw attention to stuff like this, it will become mainstream, it'll become normal, it will become something just like when I was a kid growing up, and there were kind of, depending on what part of the country you're in, you're gonna grow up in a pretty eclectic mix of people from different backgrounds, right? That's kind of how the country is, and that's how kind of how a lot of countries are. You're gonna grow up with that, and the more you divide people based on that, the more you focus on the superficial, the more it kind of separates us. That is so annoying to me. And here's the thing. People are segregating. People will split off into groups of things based on what they have in common. Like if you have men and women in a workplace, yeah, sometimes the men and women will kind of just shift off. You're going to automatically, just biologically say, oh, you look similar to me, or you seem similar to me, therefore we're going to be friends. And we do that anyway, but the more we can kind of just be more accepting of everybody in general, right? The more we can be accepting of like everybody regardless, and not call attention to and not make that the only thing that's interesting about them, I think we're going to be a little bit happier as a species. Because like I say time and time again, that is like the least important part of a person is, the color of their skin, at least to me. I don't care, right? It doesn't matter, right? The color of their skin, who they sleep with, etc., doesn't matter to me. So what are they saying here? What are they saying now that I've ranted for like 5 minutes? Before we even get into the article, while doing press for Spider-Man Far From Home, Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige responded to the gay controversy. And why is this a controversy? Do we even care anymore? I don't care. I don't care anymore. We're kind of to the point where there are better and more important things to do than worry about who's sleeping with who and who's represented, and my representation no it doesn't. I will never see anybody who looks, acts, speaks, is me on screen unless you're gonna just put me on screen. And I think we just kind of need to, as a species, we need to evolve and realize that. And then maybe the aliens will land or something, or we'll be happy, or something will happen. I don't know, but this is where I go full hippie here. We're not talking about the movie. We're talking about how the movie showed characters sporting a rainbow or glowing rainbow glove, knowing full well they were wearing Pride apparel before June. Who cares, right? It's a glove. It can be colors. It can be things. It's like with the Batman figure that they're trying to parade out for Pride Month. Even though that character was out in the 30s, in a 10-cent detective comic. Or was it 40s? I don't know. I don't remember when comics were 10 cents. They were about $1 when I was buying them as a kid. And they were all Archie and EC horror comics. But, oh, Lord. Feige responded to a question from IO9 about how the LGBTQ elemental PXYZ, I don't care that much, and I am part of the community. And I just, stop separating us. Stop marginalizing us and putting us as tokens, as representation. I'm more than who I sleep with. How the community was disappointed with how Marvel debuted their first ever gay character. I'm more disappointed that people are upset by it. I'm really more upset by that. I thought humans would be a little better. I thought we would be a little bit better by now, right? I thought since I grew up, we got past the whole PC culture in the 90s, where we're like, oh yeah, this is just kind of ridiculous. This is kind of ridiculous. You don't have a right not to be offended. But you do have the tools to be an adult and block things you don't want to see, or, filter out the things you do, right? You have the responsibility. You can do that yourself. Why we're still at this day and age where, this is a big deal, I don't know. I thought we would have moved past this 20 years ago. But apparently a new crop of idiots comes along, and every time we get a new group of people, their new generation, they gotta mess something up. Was certainly part of Gen X when we were slackers and lazy and everything else. And yeah, we kind of are. I'm a slacker. I know it. I yell at a camera for a living. But this is just, it's just ridiculous at this point. So apparently the LGBT community is upset. You know what? I'm not upset by it. I'm only upset that they're making a big deal out of it. That's it. But before we get to what the Marvel Mastermind said, we should point out who we're talking about, as it's a character who is easy to miss. We're referring to the man in the group therapy scene with Steve Rogers, who talks about his date with another man and ends in tears. There have been a few different sticking points with this from both queer fans and allies. What do you mean queer fans and allies? Are LGBT fans not... I don't know if I like the word queer. I don't think I like the word queer. Can I be offended by the word queer? Why don't just call me, hey, you're a person. Human? Human would be good. Human would be great. I would like that. I would like that very much if you just kind of refer to me as a human or a robot. I get called a bot enough times. And that was a good scene. That was a good example of just making a character something just because, there's really nowhere else to put it, and it doesn't affect the story. It's a character nobody cares that much about. It shows the point that, yes, these people exist, which, hey, representation, they exist. And I know that's one of the points. A lot of people are like, we want people to know what we exist. Yeah, I know. I get it. I think just by demanding tokenism in movies, though, isn't going to really do it. I think putting a stop to this and saying, hey, we're just people. It's okay. We don't need to be tokens. We don't need to be paraded out. Like we're a monkey on a chain for an organ grinder to do tricks because we're the token or the pet LGBT. Same thing with any people of color, people of other, ethnicities, people of other backgrounds. What's next? We're gonna need elderly representation in these movies too. You never hear about that. You never hear about, oh, baby lives matter. We need more babies all over the screen because there's no babies in Endgame or something. But you don't hear about that, right? Who cares if a fictional character is gay? I don't. The whole Marvel brand is built on the idea that the Marvel Universe is just like the real world outside our window, and having people from all walks of life on screen is exactly that. Yeah, and if your characters are established a certain way, don't change them. If it doesn't matter, then what does it matter? You can make a guy in a group therapy session gay. Doesn't matter. I kind of actually thought that was a good use of having that sort of character in there because, yeah, it didn't offend me. It didn't offend me one way or another. And you're gonna have some super conservative people who are like, no, we don't want that anywhere near our movie. But here's the thing. I get tired of being treated like I'm a token. I really do. I get tired of hearing about representation. I get tired of all of this stuff. But yeah, I'm with that. Who cares if a fictional character is gay? I don't. I really, really don't. We shouldn't even be talking about this anymore. We really don't. And I don't even care that much about going into this because I've said my piece is that we really shouldn't even care at this point anymore. We should be beyond this. We should be evolved to a point where we can just be with who we want to be and be happy. I don't care what people are on a movie about people who wear their underwear on the outside of tights, who fight aliens. I don't care who they sleep with. I really don't. And at the end of the day, this is a movie where you got people who fly around in tights and superhero costumes that fight giant purple aliens. I don't care. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. I'm done with this article. I will see you guys at Star Trek Las Vegas. I am Mecha Random 42, P.O. Box 1566, Loveland, Colorado 80539. And as always, I will see you wherever I see you. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!